Well, hello everyone. You and Manny May 25 here in Tallahassee for a point for prize. Talking about activity right here, and you see right here is I want to put together right here is a few pieces right here of like like an activity right here, and I'm sure that if we were to be participate in some type of activity or a game or something like that, and thinking about that you see right here is like a chart right here I can put together right here talk about right here, from 400 points as well as for 1900 points and as well as for 10,000 points and for 4 points. And thinking about that, these could also be like, also known as like credits too, to where anybody that may want to where that whenever you start working on something, if it's maybe the first time in school or maybe playing a game or some type of it could be maybe a trivia game or something like that. You get so many questions right to where that you would earn a few points. And like I'm sure if anybody here were to say that like for points and credits for like the points for prize is basically to where that yeah, if you solve a number of math problems within a certain time of the hour or something like that, or if it's anything such as answer correct answer to a certain question or something like that, or if it's anything about maybe a credit score. And I'm sure that some may say yeah, that what does it usually mean about for bad credit? If you were to be trying to buy something or maybe apply for something and thinking about, I'm like, yeah, for good credit or bad credit, you see, how do we manage? Is this a job that we've had, since we were young? You have right here's me right here. I would have been about in the fourth or fifth grade, and here's my baby picture. But before I even knew exactly about how it all works, to where that before I was explained to where how the credits and points worked. And I'm sure that anybody that may think that whenever they were young, that they're like, okay, they may have remembered the allowance, they were paid, about, weekly or something like that, or maybe, if they were to be, that they got the spelling test, that they got an A on the spelling test, or maybe the quiz or something like that, or they participated in an activity to where they did very well on, so they earned an ice cream, or they were credited by earning a candy bar, or anybody say, yeah, well, what about a cookie? I'm like, you got a package of, you want a package of cookies or something like that, package, for a special treat or something like that. I'm sure that that there's like such and such point of prizes to where that different things to where if you get about maybe 4 math problems corrected, and it would be like a prize such as maybe a candy bar or maybe points worth. Because I remember back whenever I was in school, that would have been about early in 1991. I think that was the first or second grade to where they would hand out the cube looking points, and like each time you got a problem right, and then they would give you like a point, and then if you collect so many of them that they would say that that there would be like a pizza. I think pizza day or something. They would have like pizza or ice cream or something like that. For the kids to enjoy. Maybe donuts or something like that. For like an award to where then for how well, and anybody say yeah, kind of reminds you of knowing about yeah. If you be a good boy, and then I'll treat you with an award or something like that. So thinking about necessarily to where yeah, if you answer, if you show up for a test within a certain hour and for a full, 30 days, if you can come to class or something like that, or come to work on time, or if it's anything about turning something in and behaving yourself, during the class hour or something like that, or if it's anything about participating in some event or something like that. And I'm sure that anybody might could think of, yeah, well, what do you call it whenever, if you were to be participating maybe in a meeting or maybe a survey, if somebody asks you to take a survey, and you are rewarded by maybe a gift card, or maybe maybe a rewards points card or anything like that. And especially that if we were to be maybe paying our bills online, or maybe following our taxes using a certain way, to where that there's like we say many different ways maybe how it could be done. But then one of those ways will be like it's like yeah, to use you use the sites, from the certain companies just to, to do your taxes, or if it's maybe to get the assistance by get assistance by a certain way or something like that to just be able to earn points. But you have right here some examples right here are some points and credit hours, and I know that this right here like for 4 credits, but for 10,000 credits, and it seems like to where that I'm sure anybody that wonders to where that maybe playing a game of like Monopoly or something like that, this would be like I would head and put this up here like if it was like a game card. But you see right here is that if you want to card maybe a chart or something like that, you top out for point credits, and I would add this right here for for 40.89 if that was like a credit score. So I'm sure anybody who's going to be between 12 and 15 are going to probably say that, yeah, that their credit maybe is less than perfect or about average, to about okay, at good standing, and you're like thinking that just to go out and if it's a loan or maybe buying a buying properties, or maybe if it's anything such as investments or business reasons or anything like that, anything that you're trying to plan on doing is thinking about. I'm like, yeah, that handling between good credit and then bad credit, and thinking about that. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be on record, and I'm sure anybody say that like with me though, that back before I even knew all this stuff, when we were born, and thinking about that, all that stuff about credit, to where it's like back before you even knew what it really was, and talking about that they look back, nearly 7 years ago, that you may have had some, credit, issues that came up, back nearly 10 years ago that they had not been cleared or something like that. So just thinking about, I'm like, yeah, that you have right here's for 4 addition, and as well as 4 times 8, and then for 30 days you have right here's the clock for count. But let's just say that on average, to where that I'm sure that law, almost everybody would think that that on their credit scores, to where that something that went on about maybe 7 years ago, and you're like wanting to where, come on, that was 7 years ago that that you buy something, or you use so much money that was borrowed and then spent or something like that. But I don't know. I say it's not really measured about how long ago it was. It's just thinking about, yeah, if it was paid or not. So just thinking that necessarily to where yet that's whenever they say is to hang on to your receipts. Hang on to your receipts, even though if it was paid back about 3 years ago or so, that they say it's like they keep your receipts, for those references. But let's just say on average, to where if this was like, I'm sure anybody say, yeah, well, it's not really a game, but let's just say if this was like, like an activity right here, to where we put together right here is just like a thought, to where thinking about that things, there's some things that we look forward to, such as up to 400 to maybe 1,900 points and credits, as well as for 10,000. And I'm sure everybody say, yeah, if you want to try to earn it, your goal is to maybe to earn about 400 points, and then after about maybe 3 weeks, and then you want to go ahead and try to work for the 1,900. So a lot of times it's like back whenever I was young, if I were to do the math right here and just thinking about as to where that, yeah, the point of prize, that really, I'm like, really do half the time, do we believe necessarily to where that something's going to be a prize? It seems like that we got to save up our money just to buy for what we got to earn, for what we want to earn, but then on the other hand, that if it's going to be anything that's related to maybe a gift cards or something like that. But let's just say that with about at least 5 different accounts that that where money comes in and out, as well as for working with like if we want to call it like the time savers, like if we're growing up to thinking about yeah, this seems like what you call like a fun activity, especially chores around the house. Who mops the floors and who takes out the trash, who cleans the windows, who washes the car, those type of things. Each one of those chores could possibly be worth credits. And thinking necessarily to where between house chores and maybe who works the math, and thinking that hey, who guessed that more likely that within the 30 days that this amount of stuff that had gotten accomplished, this amount of stuff had gotten done. But